In Athletes Unlimited, your resting place on the leaderboard can change in a second. Over the first 2 weeks, Katie Glynn saved the day for Team Apuzzo. Now, Captain Sam has to break through Katie's blockade. Later tonight, the remarkable Taylor Marino protects her #1 ranking against rookie captain Abby Bosco, who's warm to the bright lights. Young Lax fans beat the heat with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on ESPN. You're watching Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on ESPN, presented by our official climate finance partner, Aspiration. Thursdays are the first days of a new work week in this league. Today from Sparks, Maryland, week 3 of 4 begins with the captains in control. It's Team Glynn against Team Apuzzo. Here is a refresher on what's up with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. 56 players are here battling to be the individual champion. They're divided into 4 squads that change every week, all thanks to a fun and frantic scoring system. It is so very nice to see you again, along with Courtney Martinez-Connor, a 5-time national champion at Maryland. I'm Joe Beninati. You know, Court, in this matchup today, we have 2 proven winners. So what's likely to be the difference between them?
You know, both of these captains feel like they've selected the right team to give them 3 wins throughout the weekend. It's just a matter of executing their game plan. They both were very specific in what they wanted out of their team. It's who's going to execute each and every day.
The second half of the season begins today, and we can introduce you to the new folks in charge, this week's captains.
Marino and Apuzzo, those 2 have the biggest advantage. This is their 3rd week as captains. You look at Katie Glynn. She's been here before in previous seasons. It's just like riding a bike. Abby Bosco, the newbie on the block, she's going to have to figure out quickly what it's like to play and coach at the same time.
So, breaking down the first matchup, Sam Apuzzo is a relentless talent who seems to get stronger the longer the game goes.
You can never count Sam Apuzzo out of anything. She just seems to have a switch, and she flips it whenever her team needs it. She has the ability to finish in tight, dodge on the run, take some draws, win possession for her team. But what I love most about her is her ability to get to cage quickly.
Sam has her childhood chum, Sam Geyers, back on her side to deliver even more offense.
You know, those 2 go way back. They have incredible connections on the field. But Sam Gyersback can be really sneaky around the goal cage. She times her cuts well. She knows when and where her teammate and captain Sam Apuzzo is going to feed her that ball.
She's a very nice finisher. Flipping the script, it was only a matter of time before Katie Glynn's goaltending landed her in the top 4 on the leaderboard.
Katie Glynn is just so incredibly active. I like how she's calm inside the cage while also starting the offense for her team, but it's her ability to stay calm in pressure-type situations. She's very relaxed, always has a smile on her face, and just really wants to get her team pumped on the field.
She's having fun making saves. Katie's going to call on Amanda Johansson to be at her best this week at crunch time.
Amanda Johansson is one of those midfielders who just makes an impact at both ends. Katie Glynn chose her with a purpose. She said she needed to have somebody on the field while she is stuck in the goal who can do the job at both ends, and people are going to listen to her.
Amanda Johansson, 657 points on the leaderboard as we head into week 3. These athletes are very accommodating to our requests for field access. We do our best to bring you into the game with them. Today, Nicole Levy is cool with teaming up with us. Nicole, how do you like the makeup of your new team this week?
Yeah, it's going to be a great day for us. In Orange, you know, I think having Sam Apuzzo as a captain is super special because no one plays with the amount of emotion and passion that she does.
Nicole, I feel like we're new besties down in the locker room, potentially. When you look at your team and they're cheering before the game, what are the emotions before heading into this first matchup?
Yeah, I think just like pumped to be here. You know, we appreciate the opportunity that we're given every day to play this game with some of our best friends. So I think it's the emotion is more appreciative more than anything. And excitement, you know, excitement to continue to still play this game. I know I'm lucky enough and fortunate enough to still be doing this at the age of 26, so.
Nicole, one last thought while we have you. We're at week 3 now. We're starting week 3. Are the players more and more focused upon who is in what position on the leaderboard?
No, you know what? I don't really think it's necessarily much about that. I think right now, honestly, for some of us older ones, it's about keeping our bodies healthy. Playing 3 games a weekend is kind of tough. So I think we're just more focused on playing together as a team, getting those win points, and letting that leaderboard kind of letting ourselves climb up just naturally based off of that.
Keep it up. You're doing great. Thanks, Nicole. We'll be checking in with you throughout the day.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Game number 13 of 24 in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. This is season 3. Ronnie Anton, Devin Holcomb, Erica Leslie, Liz Brush, the officials on the field. Lynn Bowers is our table official. In orange, Team Apuzzo gets the first touch. 60 seconds on the Athletes Unlimited shot clock. We play 6-on-6 at this end of the field. The rosters are 14 players long. The two goals set 80 yards from one another. As you watch Mastriani step inside the arc from the angle, she sent it wide of Katie Glynn. If you score, Courtney, from outside that 8-meter arc, you'll get 2 points for the team and 16 for yourself as we draw your attention to the leaderboard as things begin in week 3. Geyersbach's bouncer is an easy stop there for Katie Glynn. 5 points for every goalie save.
Now looking at these two teams, the team in orange as well as that in blue, these two teams have the captains with the second and third most leaderboard points. That does not mean they're any slouches. Both of them are highly competitive, incredible in their ability to match up and make quality draft selections.
Turnover here, so follow your favorite players on the leaderboard throughout the weekend. A doubleheader tonight as Lizzie Colson streaks into the offensive end, makes a nice feed. Geyersbach from the angle. She scores.
First goal of the game to Team Apuzzo. Again, transitioning off of that caused turnover. The speed of Lizzie Colson, that's why everybody's honoring her. You kind of forget about Sam Geyersbach as she sneaks in behind you, because Lizzie can and will goal to goal. She's proven that time and time again. Sam Geyersbach with a nice easy finish off of that fast break, 2v1. But Geyersbach, we talked about her in the open, her ability just to finish in tight, that natural lefty side. And she has an incredible connection with her captain.
Second consecutive week for Geyersbach to be teamed up with Apuzzo. She was with Team Mastriani in week 1. Sam has goals in all 7 games this season. It took her 1 minute and 23 seconds to dent the twine tonight. Overcast skies here in Sparks, Maryland. USA Lacrosse headquarters, the venue for Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse Season 3. Joe Beninati, Courtney Martinez-Connor with you. Livy Rosenzweig, who's a newcomer to Athletes Unlimited this season, actually an injury replacement for Haley Radigan, who will be inactive for the balance of the campaign. This is batted out of bounds by the defender, Katrina Geiger. It'll be Team Apuzzo ball in orange.
Now, one thing Sam talked about prior to the game, she was just excited to get some of that same crew together from last week. Same offensive group, Sammy, Court, Dempsey, and then on the D side, Meg and Lizzie, she felt are strong contenders to just hold up that defensive brick wall in the backfield.
Arsenal off the flip there. Mastriani fumbled, and back comes Team Glynn in the blue. The solid rookie Amy Moreau leading this fast break charge. Gilbert face dodge to the cage. She scores! Lauren Gilbert.
Amy Moreau, one of the most underrated rookies, I think. She just does a lot of work in the middle of the field. We see her pushing the tempo, the pace of play, running out of the backfield, wearing number 3 in blue. She draws the slide, moves it to Gilbert, and then Gilbert, there's nobody faster than her on the field. As soon as she gets her eyes on the goal, that quick movement, quick release. Lauren Gilbert evening out the score here, as we have 1-1 for Apuzzo versus Glynn.
Lauren Gilbert, part of the player executive committee. The athletes are the leaders and decision makers in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. So Gilbert, 46 seconds after Geyersbach's on the board. Lauren has played, Courtney, 19 games as a pro. She has goals in 17 of them. Just about even money.
That's not a bad stat to have.
Back inside the draw circle, Apuzzo and Rosenzweig, and it's Rosenzweig who pulls this one down. Livy, the rookie out of Loyola, had 8 draw controls in her first ever game as a pro. The league record is 10. Moreau closing, finds Evans. Evans pulls the trigger, and that's knocked away by Team Apuzzo netminder Kaylee Waters. Give her 5 points for the stop. Kylie Ohlmiller's lurking back behind the cage. Meg Dowdy, her Team USA mate, right there to keep tabs on Kylie. 1-1 in the early going, just shy of the 3-minute mark. More and more focus on the leaderboard as weeks 3 and 4 unfold. We'll be crowning a champion here on August 13th. A long-range drive that was blocked, and it sends away Team Apuzzo. Mastriani running well from arc to arc. She'll flip for Apuzzo, who will slow and cool her heels and wait for the 6-on-6 to develop.
You know, in transition, we won't see as much of a fast break happening after a draw control is taken. Both Sam Apuzzo as well as Livy Rosenzweig using a draw stick, so they like to slow things down so they can be involved, swap out their sticks for a better shooting stick.
Nicole Levy playing cat and mouse with Gilbert. Levy looking for a passing lane. Courtney, when time allows, as Apuzzo goes to the goal, explain why you'd have difficulties using a draw stick at the offensive end. As Apuzzo goes to the cage, she lost her balance there. She was fouled on the way.
You know, it has a different pocket, it has a different head. It helps the ball sit in there a little bit better. It's why so many players are using them. It's a huge advantage. We saw the difference in season 1 when Taylor Cummings wasn't using one, and then she kind of decided to make that switch.
Now Apuzzo from free position, one-on-one against Katie Glynn. And she buries it. Sam Apuzzo, multiple goals in 10 of her last 11. She strikes for the first time today and puts her squad back out in front.
A nice little wind-up, a crow hop and a shot. Sam Apuzzo, definitely a sniper with her placement on her free positions, just as she is in movement play. But Sam Apuzzo, you can't put her on the line because she is difficult to stop.
You get 12 points for every goal in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Folks, for every assist during this year's season, Aspiration is committed to planting 10 trees. Stay tuned throughout the season, see how many trees will be planted, thanks to Aspiration's support. Geyer's back and Apuzzo sandwiching goals around a Gilbert strike. If you're a little late catching up with us, we're just underway in Game 13 this Thursday. First of 2 on the docket on ESPNU, Team Marino and Team Bosco, a little later on. Rosenzweig took control of that draw, but the speed of Arsenal helped to bat that one out of bounds. Possession will belong in the aftermath to Lauren Gilbert and Team Glynn.
So impressive, Livy Rosenzweig, with where she's able to place the draw. Sam Apuzzo, one of the best at the draw control on the circle. If you can get it away from Livy Rosenzweig, that's the key. She does an excellent job of drawing to herself as opposed to those around the circle.
Ohlmiller isolating on Dowdy. That pass was low. Rosenzweig took a knee to keep it alive, then returns it inside, shovel, score! Beautiful goal for Kylie Ohlmiller.
Kylie Ohlmiller loves to do the fancy things on the offensive end of the field. Livy Rosenzweig, after getting control of this ball, she has vision. That was a key for her in college, and it continues to be a key for her here in Athletes Unlimited. She sees the field so very well. And then Kylie Ohlmiller, always putting something fancy on her shot. Nice little Twizzler right there. She has not lost a step after not playing in season 2 of Athletes Unlimited due to an injury. She is back to true to form. Kylie Ohlmiller, as she has evened things out.
In just 41 seconds after Apuzzo gave her squad the lead, Ohlmiller with tallies in 4 of her first 7 games this season. We're deadlocked at 2, and folks, something that you should know, Nicole Levy was addressing it in the moments prior to the game. For every quarter in Athletes Unlimited, there are 20 points available for the team that wins the overall frame. So all 14 players on your roster pick up 20 points when your team wins the quarter. If it's tied, let's say this score stayed the same at 2-2, the second quarter would carry over and be worth 40. Arsenault emerging from the pack, so good on the ground. Dempsey Arsenault, the all-time leader in Athletes Unlimited when it comes to ground balls.
You know, catching up with Katie Glynn before the game, captain of the blue team, she said she doesn't want to have to play catch-up on the field. And as you mentioned, each goal that they have answered has been not long after Team Apuzzo has scored, so that's a certain key for them, making sure not to let Team Apuzzo go on any large runs.
Through the weave, Levy thought about the 2-point shot. Ditto for Mastriani. The return pass gets away from Fortunato. Allie will chase it down. Amanda Johansson right there, she fouled her with 20 seconds on the shot clock. Courtney, earlier today we had learned that there has been some emphasis on specifically the physicality that's been shown in the first couple of weeks. The officials will be especially on notice for cross checks in this weekend. Mastriani looks inside. That's deflected by Fortunato and stopped by Glynn.
You know, cross checks, overly aggressive play, reckless stick checking. They just want to make sure it's a point of emphasis. All of the players, they talk about the safety, and they have a huge voice in Athletes Unlimited. The PEC, the Player Executive Committee, very involved. You like the fact that the league listens, and they just wanted to make sure that there's strong clarifications. These are the rules. We're sticking to them. And we've seen that early on with the free position and then that call in the open field.
Gilbert off the split dodge from right to left, matched up with Colson. She's so good defensively, 35 in the orange. Erica Evans off the sweep, another rookie in Athletes Unlimited. Johansson now in her third season. Shot clock down to 14. Amanda gets inside and fires. That's rejected by Waters. Kaylee gets another 5 points for that stop. All of those points amassed on the leaderboard, and you'll be seeing that leaderboard throughout the day. Left side of your screen. At the end of business in 4 weeks, we crown an individual champion. Top four on the leaderboard earn medals. There's a Defender of the Year award honor to be passed out as well. All of that shaping up over the next couple of weeks, and as we begin play, the defending champ is still in charge, Taylor Marino, who we'll see tonight. Apuzzo off the hitch move, gets inside and then gets decked by Evans as that one sails high. Backed up on the end line by Levy. In Lacrosse on a shot closest to the ball wearing when it leaves the field. Gets possession. Apuzzo rattles that one off the post. A new 60-second shot clock, but a ground ball for Katie Detweiler. Fine rookie defender. Comes up and brings Team Glynn back through neutral.
Katie Detweiler, she has been taken early in the draft for the second and third consecutive week. It's due to her physical play. She's tough, she's athletic, she moves her feet, she makes it very difficult for offensive players to dodge by her. Oftentimes these players right out of college have an advantage. They're fit, they're in shape, they were just playing a full season.
Ohlmiller bluffs the flip, then gives it back to Johansson. Still plenty of time to shoot. Amanda picked up on the outside by Lizzie Colson. Johansson second all time in Athletes Unlimited in 2-point goals, trailing only Charlotte North. A look to the inside for a Gilbert that gets away. The ball will bounce to the midline. 8 seconds to shoot for the rookie Katie Ramsey. Ramsey on the hop inside. Ohlmiller behind the back. She scores. Ohlmiller is feeling it this afternoon.
Katie Ramsey running this ball down, giving her team one more opportunity to score. Already talked about Kylie Ohlmiller and her ability to finish that ball so very well. Kylie Ohlmiller giving the lead to Team Glynn.
Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on ESPN is sponsored by Aspiration, a global leader in financing climate impact. This is Season 3, Week 3 of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, deadlocked at 2 apiece between Team Glynn and Team Apuzzo. Folks, every Monday, the captains go through the draft process and pick their new sides. This is what happened this past Monday with Kenzie Kent selected #1 overall by rookie captain Abby Bosco.
And you have to look at Kenzie Kent because she is so slick with her stick. She can score, she can assist. You look at Detweiler, we talked about her being that first rookie taken because she can shut down an opponent's top attacker. Livy Rosenzweig, again, another draftee from a year ago, able to play this season, and she is dominant at the draw. Kaylee Waters, she's a top goalkeeper, but oftentimes when you have goalies as captains, and we have two, Marino and Glynn, most of the captains realize I don't have to take someone early.
Taylor Van Thoff and Marie McCool making big jumps in draft position. As we let you know about Sam Apuzzo, when it comes to overall rankings through now 3 seasons of Athletes Unlimited, Sam is the leader of the pack in so many different places.
I mean, everywhere. Everywhere. She just does her job on the field. Everybody has touted that she will not be denied for a 3rd season of Athletes Unlimited. They do expect her to win. I know that Taylor Marino is the leaderboard at the top right now, but don't count Sam Apuzzo out.
Nicole Levy, kind enough to join us. Nicole, we've been sharing some thoughts about the historical reference point for Sam Apuzzo, what she's done in this league so far. What is it that makes her the special player she is?
It's her competitive nature for sure, and like I said before, I mean, kid just plays super emotional and super passionate. She's the first one cheering and jumping up and down when someone on her team scores a goal. And I think that's a pretty incredible athlete and you know, teammate to be, and I think a lot of the young girls out there watching, that's a perfect example of a great teammate. And take notes.
Nicole, thanks for the insight. We'll be checking back in with you soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nicole Levy sitting this shift out with 1:51 to go in the opening quarter. Remember, those 20 points are on the line for the team that wins each frame in Athletes Unlimited. So right now, O'Miller's second goal on the day has given Team Glynn the 3-2 advantage and its first lead. Draw possession to Team Apuzzo in orange. Dempsey Arsenault in her 3rd season of Athletes Unlimited. She refers to Sam Apuzzo like a sister. Those two play so incredibly well together. Levy will jog in. Picked up on the outside by the rookie Ramsey. This is Fortunato behind the cage, a good goal scorer. Matched up with Ali Palermo, 24 in blue. From the top, Arsenault gets inside, she scores! Dempsey Arsenault with the equalizer.
Watching Dempsey Arsenault on the field, it's like she's a ballerina. She's so fluid with her movements, very smooth. She moves hard and with a purpose, but it's so graceful. It's pretty to watch. Potentially, defense got away with one right there. It looks like that was a check to the head as she was dodging by Amy Moreau. But Dempsey Arsenault staying calm and composed, finishing that shot as she has tied things up at 3 for Team Apuzzo. Both of these coaches, these captains, talked about the importance of running their game plan, being focused, not letting any team run away with the game, and it's been very back and forth, so I think each of them incredibly consistent with what they respectively wanted to do.
Graphic at the bottom of the sheet screen showing you Arsenal picking up 12 points for that goal. We are 3-3 in the chase for the 20 leaderboard points for the team that wins the individual quarter. Dempsey Arsenault with tallies in 4 of her first 7 games this season. We drift under a minute to play in this opening quarter, and Arsenault has the ball in her cross. Levy, who had a 6-goal game last weekend, tying an individual game Athletes Unlimited record. She shares that now with Charlotte North. 24 seconds to shoot, 35 in the quarter. Fortunato a long way from the goal against Palermo. Sidewinder, ooh, that hit the defender, knocking down Katrina Geiger. Caught her right above the foot. And this will be a card to Courtney Fortunato. So this is a player-up situation for Team Glynn late in the quarter and a chance to win the quarter should they convert.
Geiger, we saw she was moving across the top of the crease, looking to match up on her offensive player cutting.
Yellow card, 1 minute, releasable.
The yellow card, 1 minute assessed after this Fortunato drive strikes Katrina Geiger.
As we saw in that replay, she was matching with Geiersbach, who was moving around. Any shot that's below the knee is just afforded a yellow card. Anything above the knee is a red. There's no 3 seconds shooting space in Athletes Unlimited. So it's all a matter of just making sure that if you have the lane, that there's no defensive players in front of you. The onus is on the shooter.
3-3 in the score after the Arsenal goal. There is a challenge. Facilitators, who are the helpers, the advisors, the organizers on the sideline, they can ask for a challenge. Table official is Lynn Bowers. As we watch Fortunato's drive, we're trying to see where the ball strikes Geiger. If it's above the knee, it would be a red card. If it's below, the yellow that was originally assessed. The difference being, Courtney, Fortunato stays in the game. Fortunato stays in the game if it's a yellow. She's ejected if it's red. The officials are looking at a number of different angles, some of which we don't have, as we share this point of view.
Joe, based upon looking at how far that ball ricocheted off, seems like it would have to have hit the bone of her knee, right? The kneecap to fly across the field with such force.
And this is Katrina Geiger, who's had 2 ACL surgeries in the past, 2 other knee surgeries, a foot surgery, a remarkable player who's pondering retirement at the end of this season, but she wants to do it on her terms and prove that her body can hold up. She's in a good move. She's still laughing over there as Lynn Bowers emerges after the challenge to give us the information.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. It will be a yellow card served by orange number 12.
So the yellow is confirmed. Player up for Team Glenn. Thankfully for Fortunato, she'll remain in the game. Courtney referenced a couple of red cards we actually saw in the first couple of weeks of the season. We did have 2 players ejected for reds. Fortunato escapes that decision. Now late in the opening quarter with 25.5 to go. If you win the frame, everybody on your roster gets 20 points. If it's tied, those 20 will carry over to the second. Detweiler on the clear for Ramsey. Player up for Team Glenn. Shot clock is turned off. Moreau, very impressive. Give and go with Ramsey. She fanned on it. Ball off the turf belongs to Lizzie Colson, a ground ball magnet for Team Apuzzo. As time will expire, this first quarter will be a 3-3 carryover to the second frame. Good game, back and forth on the teeter-totter.
It's all about matching what the opponent does, not letting any team go on an extended run offensively. I think the defenses have standed tall. Goalkeepers are starting the offense. Both teams executing their game plan so very well.
3-3 on the board. Ohlmiller with a couple for Team Glenn. Geiersbach, Apuzzo, and Arsenault have struck for the gang in orange. Expecting this one to be tight. So far, so very good. With Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on ESPN. Folks, Saturday's PLL games, Archers and Atlas, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC and ESPN+, followed by the Whipsnakes and Chrome, only on ESPN+. All games coming from historic Homewood Field in Baltimore, about 20-25 minutes away from where we are at the moment. In this game, Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse, we've played 10 minutes, and Team Glenn and Team Apuzzo are level at 3 apiece. It should come as no surprise. 6 of the first 12 games this season decided by 1-point margins. Joe Beninati, Courtney Martinez, Connor with you from the booth. We're joined by Paul Carcaterra and Quint Kesnick. Guys, great to have you on board. Fun to have the PLL in town this weekend. Quint, what impresses you the most about these athletes?
Well, I was here last year, and this is my second time. Just to be here in person, to see the skill level, the size and speed of these young women athletes, it's unbelievable. I'm not sure if TV captures that, because I've caught a bunch of games mostly on my phone on the app this year. But to be here and see the speed, the skill of a Lauren Gilbert, the ability of a Sam Apuzzo, the goaltending, to be here in person really brings it all together.
Quint, when you look at the difference between the college game as well as Athletes Unlimited, do you think it's the smaller field? Is it the pro players that they've picked the best of the best of why they're faster, more physical, or is it the less players?
I think it's a little bit of a combination of all those things. And what I like about this pro game, it's a little bit experimental in terms of different rules, whether it be what you just saw with the potential red card, with the 9-on-9 field players, with a smaller field. It's experimentational, it's innovative, and I think because of so many of these young women are coaches, whether it's high school, college, or clubs, that things that go on here matter nationally, and I love this as a source of pollination for the game.
Second quarter unfolds with Athletes Unlimited. Paul Carcaterra, in your opinion, what would be the characteristics that turn good college players into great professional players?
I think flexibility, Joe. I mean, there's so many of these women, their skill set is undeniable. I watch someone like Sam Apuzzo on the field right now taking draws, and then she's able to quarterback an offense. Flexibility, overall skill set, but also in terms of the tempo, when you're here live and you see how quick it is, how sharp and how strong these athletes are in terms of their approaches, the way that they attack defenders when you're a defender, the balance and the leverage game, it's undeniable. I'm a lacrosse junkie when it comes to the women's game. I have a daughter who plays, and I watch this stuff nonstop, and I'm so impressed as Sam takes another shot here. The overall ability and skill of these athletes is absolutely nuts, and it's also lacrosse at its purest form.
Beautiful bounce shot there from the outside. Geyer's back, and Apuzzo hooking up again.
Childhood teammates and friends, best friends till this day, making a ton of connections on the field. Geyer's back to Apuzzo, and then her eyes are always up. She's hitting Geyer's back one more time. Look for Dempsey Arsenal to get involved as well. Those two incredibly tight. But Kark, you just talked about Sam Apuzzo, her ability to influence a game. When you look at these athletes and what they're doing as role models for your daughter, what do you think is so important?
My daughter's here. When she knew I was coming to do the PLL in Baltimore Saturday, we came down 2 days early just for this. And Sam Apuzzo is actually her favorite player. She has a BC sweatshirt on. She has an Apuzzo USA jersey underneath the sweatshirt. So she loves Sam. You know, I had an opportunity to do a feature on Sam and Dempsey and Kenzie a few years back when they were at BC, and I brought Payla, my daughter, with me at the time, and she was like in 3rd grade, and she instantly just gravitated towards Sam. And Sam is the sweetest person you can imagine. But when she's on the field, I mean, she has a level of intensity in her motor is just endless. But this is amazing to see it in person too, because I mentioned earlier, lacrosse at its purest form. These midfielders are truly two-way midfielders. In the men's game, it's so specialized. When you think of lacrosse and the origins of the game, the women's game is so much closer to the origins of the game than the men's.
So much ground to cover for the likes of Mastriani. She fired that one wide. It's 4-3 in the quest for the 40 points in the second quarter. Geyer's back has lifted Team Apuzzo to the lead there in orange. Mastriani off the face dodge, works in on the flip for Apuzzo. That pass crosses up Geyer's back. Q, when you've spoken with players on your podcast, give us a sense for how the players are getting amped up for these 4 weeks.
Well, I think it's a focal point of their summer, quite honestly, but the ability to play after college. You know, at one time, women could only just play club, and that was in front of family and friends and very regionalized. But now you have this epicenter of professional women's lacrosse. The top 56 players come together for 4 weeks. It's great against great. And I think that grows the game. I think it pushes the game forward. It talked about that innovation. But the fact that someone like Sam Apuzzo can compete now after college against an Ali Mastriani, a Lauren Gilbert, and just allows the game to grow, along with creating heroes. You know, Paolo Carcaterra is here. My daughter's watching this game on .com right now. The ability for young people to latch on to these college heroes now for years after graduation, to me, is invaluable.
Absolutely something to aspire to indeed. Quint, when you look at the field of play, right, this is very different than many of the other pro leagues out there. Athletes Unlimited, it's an individual champion within a team sport. Is it something that you expect when you watch the game after we take another quick little peek? How about I get your take on this from the goalie perspective?
Well, a little left-to-left move, getting to the middle of the field pays dividends. The goalies are scoring really well this summer. You've got 3 goalies in the top 11 right now as the leaderboard opened up tonight. And it's really cool to watch this game on your phone as it goes down, because you can see the leaderboard shift in live time, whether it's goals, assists, turnovers. I think the scoring, one thing I will say, that I think these players need to get more credit for their assists. I think an assist should be worth a little more than 4. The goalies are certainly well compensated, which I love. 5 points for a save, man. I'd be leading the top of the leaderboard with 5 points a save.
And you'd be begging the scorers table, too, for more.
Constantly.
Every
sure. Week, I'd say, that ball hit off my knee, that ball hit off my shin. Review the video.
Rosenzweig and Mastriani inside the draw circle. Kark, when you see how the women restart play and you compare it to how the men face off, what jumps out at you with respect to the women's game?
Well, I think we've seen a gap closed in terms of the overall skill because of the stick technology. I think the women's game over the last bunch of years has taken a huge step in terms of the way that these pockets are closer to the men's games. You're seeing the stick skills on display in an evening like tonight in the NCAA tournament. When I watch youth lacrosse now, some of the young girls, what they're doing with their sticks.
Fortunato turns the corner and stuffs it home. It's 3 unanswered for Team Apuzzo.
Sam Apuzzo, she talked about executing on the field, and her team has been stellar at the offensive end of the field. Their movement, their precision in their passing, again, looks like an in-tight potential defensive one right to the head that Team Lynn got away with. But Fortunato capping off yet another goal for Sam Apuzzo as they are extending their lead now 6-3.
Last 4 points on the board to the team in orange, chasing down the 40 points per quarter. And Quint, what do you think about the way Athletes Unlimited divvies up the game into 4 frames? The players all notice that it's extremely important to win quarter by quarter.
I like that. You know, that's a great mindset for every young athlete, or even college or pro, to have. You know, to win. We talk about winning 5-minute increments in a game, but in this, with 10-minute quarters, winning the quarter matters. So you break it up into 4 games within a game. And so if you do have a bad quarter, like right now the team in light blue is kind of struggling, they're probably going to lose this quarter. So what? You can bounce back and win the 3rd quarter or win the 4th quarter to get yourself points. So I think that's actually a great learning lesson for young people who may be watching this.
You know, we have a 2-point shot here in Athletes Unlimited as well. And previously, prior to your Charlotte Norths, there weren't a lot of power shooters. And Quint, I know you had the opportunity to call a game with Charlotte North. Can you talk about the speed, the accuracy that you see when she is winding up?
Well, I mean, it's unlike anything I've ever seen in the women's game. And as long as it's done safely here without helmets on, I'm all in favor of it. And what it does is it changes the way you defend her, because you've got to come out and get on her hands when she's at the top of the arc. And what that does is it opens up her dodging ability. So much like basketball, she's got the 2-way go there, whether it's the outside shot or to put the ball on the carpet and dodge for herself. So I think it's a plus, and it opens up the field for a player of Charlotte's quality.
Apuzzo hesitates and scores! Sam Apuzzo with a rip from near the 2-point arc. The 8-meter key And the goals continue to rain down for Team Apuzo.
You know, Sam sizing up the defense in front of her. She's looking at this two-man game. She's deciding which direction to take it. But if you don't step up and deny her hands, you got to get on them so that way she doesn't have a quality shot. That's why she looked at the goal, no defense in front. She's ready to take that power shot.
Paul, you broadcast a game this season earlier with the Charlotte North. Who'll lose you tonight. What's she like as an analyst?
She's incredible. I mean, the sky's the limit. So this was Charlotte's first game she ever did. It was Ohio State against Notre Dame, and we talked for a couple weeks prior to actually heading out to South Bend. Her preparation was near flawless. Her attention to detail, the way that she studied the players, the way that she studied schemes, it was so refreshing to see someone embracing a new opportunity the way she is. And you just walk away from that experience. For me, I'm like, she is an absolute winner in every respect of the game of lacrosse, as a person, as a player, as someone who just breaks things down. And I will tell you, when we were doing that game, when there was highlights and, you know, goals in terms of the breakdown of the goals, the way that she's able to break things down from a technical standpoint is amazing. And from a shooter's perspective, whether you're playing in the PLL, whether you're playing girls lacrosse at the youth level, boys lacrosse at the youth level, when you listen to Charlotte North speak about the game, speak about shooting, speak about all the tendencies, keep your ears open, because you will learn. I mean, I learned something every time I've spoken with her, and I just think she is such a great ambassador. And some of the people in front of her that paved the way, the Sam Apuzos and the Dempsey Arsenals of the world, and you know, from Courtney's generation with the Jen Adams and people like Courtney, just amazing role models that she had that she's paying back.
From one Courtney to another, Courtney Fortunato bangs in her second on the day. It's a 6 unanswered goal run for Team Apuzo. Fellas, thanks very much for palling around with us. We appreciate it. Best of luck to the PLL this weekend in Baltimore.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
As we head to break, Fortunato and Team Apuzo taking over this second quarter in particular. All orange. It's 8-3. Folks are having fun here in Sparks. Slam ball coverage continuing tonight with the start of the week 3 in the schedule, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus. Slam ball, it's part basketball, football, and hockey in a cage with trampolines. I guess we're tuning in for that. 8-3 in favor of Team Apuzo as we near the halftime break. Katie Glynn is wearing a microphone for us tonight. Let's go into the game with her and Air National Guard.
Here we go, here we go. Oh. Woo. Oh. Ball down, ball down. Woo-hoo. That was pretty. That was great. Here we go. Oh, let's go. Oh my God, let's go. That was sick. Let's go. Oh my God.
Katie Glynn admiring the handiwork of Kylie Ohlmiller from a distance. She watched that from her goal crease as Kylie put goals back to back, and at that time things were going well for Team Glynn. But since then, Court, 6-0 run, 6 unanswered points for Team Apuzo.
You know, it makes it hard. You got to win the draw, capitalize on the offensive end of the field. You just need to have more possession time, do a lot with the ball. When she picked her team, she said Kylie, Amanda, Katrina, all those different players at each respective end. She chose them because of their leadership qualities. They just need to touch the ball more.
Kylie can produce goals in bunches. Katie knows that. There have been 8 all-time 5-goal games in Athletes Unlimited, and Ohlmiller has 2 of them. She has 2 goals so far, but the 40 points that are available for the second quarter, remember we had the first quarter carryover with a score deadlocked at 3. It's all Apuzzo in the second frame, 5 points to zip. So everybody in orange is looking like they're going to bag 40 on their individual leaderboard total as a result of this frame. But still 4 minutes plus left in the second. Rosenzweig with another draw control. For every draw control, you get 2 points. Pitch it on back for Amanda Johansson, wearing 7 in the blue. What is it about the wardrobe this season for blue? The teams that have worn the blue have not won a game yet this season.
I know I didn't want to say it, but I'm thinking it. Oftentimes it's just getting over the hump. And the team in blue, that's not the 4th captain, essentially the last on that leaderboard of 4 players, but it's just something in the back of your head. Oftentimes you don't even realize that you're thinking of it. They can just get this next quarter out of the way, start fresh.
Come Sunday night, the top 4 on the leaderboard will be the captains for the final week, for week 4 of Athletes Unlimited Season 3. Moreau with a power step rolling in on Mastriani. Shot clock's at 6. Rosenzweig back to Moreau. On her way down, she finds Ramsey, gave it up. Gilbert at the horn. That's stabbed by Kaylee Waters. Another 5 points for every stop in the nets. Come draft morning on Monday, the player who's in the 4th position drafts first. It's a reverse snake draft. And the player who's in 4th wears purple. The player who's in 3rd wears blue. In 2nd, orange. And in 1st, gold. A position Taylor Marino, and a color Taylor Marino's been in for a long, long time. And she'll rock the gold again tonight in the second game of our doubleheader. Geyer's back, finds the open player. It's Apuzzo. Fortunato, neat moves, rolling into Geiger, who stayed there well positionally. Shot clock's down to 16. Detweiler gets Apuzzo. No easy assignment. Trades her off to Geiger. Shot clock's at 8. Apuzzo off the question mark. She scores! That one just bounced through Katie Glynn. Apuzzo has the first half hat trick.
That's a tough go as a keeper. You made the stop. It just kind of dribbles in. And Katie Glynn would wish she has this one back, but Sam Apuzzo doing Sam Apuzzo things around the crease. She likes to work her magic. That question mark, the signature jump shot. You see her stick protection. Tough defense by Geiger. She doesn't give her a lot of space. That's why she very athletically turned, jumped, all in one. 4 up, 4 back. Sam Apuzzo, 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points so far, and we're not even done the first half.
Goodness, that's 40 points right there on the leaderboard total. Folks, everyone loves to rep Athletes Unlimited. You can too. Be sure to check out all the great gear, including the new Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse player name and number t-shirts. Go to shop.auprosports.com and get yours today. 6 points for Team Apuzzo in the second alone. They are rolling towards the 40 points for winning this quarter. The 20 that carried over from the first, that was deadlocked at 3. That'll become official in 1:55. Fortunato directing traffic with Arsenault and Mastriani. Allie on the go, turns on Johansson. The flip for Geyer's back. Apuzzo curls from the top, fidgets to the inside, goes behind the back on Detweiler, and sailed it high. 90 seconds remaining in the half. Mastriani on the isolation, yanked that one wide. Closest to the ball, wearing when it leaves the field on a shot. Possession for Apuzzo. Looking over the top, that's deflected. Good defensive work there. Racing back ahead in the transition game. It's Geiger. They look for Gilbert on the break. This one gets away. Dowdy is there. physical customer. Great effort by Meg on the sideline trying to keep that in, but it's Team Glenn ball. Ohlmiller bluffing a pass to the inside. Looking to Gilbert, just out of her reach. Ball collected by Mastriani. Shot clock turned off. Final possession for Team Apuzzo. They've pretty much wrapped up the second quarter 5 minutes ago, but they're about to bank 40 for all 14 players on the roster.
You know, from such a tight first quarter where nobody earned the points, that 20 points went over into the second. This is a tough draw for Team Glenn, as they were so significant in their matchups, denying any large runs. And then the second quarter, now that it's worth 40, Team Apuzzo just seems to have run away with it.
Time's a wasted in the half. A feed to the interior gets away from Geyer's back. Picked up by Nicole Levy. One more looking for Geyer's back, swing and a miss on the quick stick. And that's where this first half will come to an end. Palermo at midfield. Apuzzo's squad 6 love in the second quarter. They take the 40 down for the carryover from the first.
You know, Team Apuzzo in the orange jerseys, making sure they carry things over from the defense to the offensive sides of the field, just executing incredibly well. She did feel strongly about the hustle plays in the middle of the field, building momentum if they can, and that's just exactly what they've done here in the second quarter, and as they start to run away with this game. But things aren't said and done. 2 more quarters to go as Team Glenn is going to look to revamp.
Katie Glenn and Sam Apuzzo, the 2 winningest players in Athletes Unlimited history, with 21 victories on their mantle. So far, so very good for Fortunato and friends at the halftime break on ESPN. 20 minutes of fun and fast-paced lacrosse are in the books. It's halftime in the first of 6 games this weekend. Team Glenn and Team Apuzzo getting their rest on ESPN. The great athletes of Athletes Unlimited, they're committed to 4 weeks of play out there on the field. But in their downtime, they've been known to have fun teeing another ball up.
Trying to get in a quick 9.
Quick 9.
Quick 9.
Who's gonna golf the best sport today?
Oh, Cat. Cat. 100% Cat. But Kayla's going to give us the best laughs, and I feel like that's more important.
All right, gals, it's time to stretch. I know if I hit it like I usually do. Let's watch it break. It didn't. No, give me a new ball.
The winner. How do you feel, Kat?
Feel good.
I was consistent today, but I was just consistent with bogeys, unfortunately.
Any day on the links is a good day. Lax fans, hang in there with us. Still more ground to come and cover at halftime. When we return, we'll hear from team captain Katie Glynn. The action has come to a halt after 20 minutes in Sparks, Maryland, home of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. It's halftime for Team Glenn and Team Apuzzo on ESPN. Netminder Katie Glenn, no stranger to being a leader in this league. She had these thoughts on wearing the captain's badge this week.
It's a little bit of pressure, you know, you got to pick the team and, you know, all eyes fall on you. But it's just so fun. You get to, I think, you know, the biggest thing, what I love about Athletes Unlimited is the teams are changing every week, so you're playing with 56 of your friends. So you get to, like, pick your friends to play with and have fun. And, you know, my biggest thing is, of course, we want to compete and win and do our best, but just want to be having fun doing it.
Katie's helped her teams win a lot over 3 seasons. We're almost done with business at the half. Please stay tuned. Courtney Martinez, Connor, and I will take care of the highlights segment in just a moment. Back with the best from the first 2 quarters right after this. Skies are threatening over USA Lacrosse headquarters, but really what's mattered after 20 minutes, the offensive output of Team Apuzzo, outstanding in the second quarter alone, with a 9-3 advantage after 2. Joe Beninati, Courtney Martinez, Connor with you. Court's a 5-time national champion at Maryland. So, Court, it was 3-3, and we were settling in for a really good game, and then what happened?
And then Sam Apuzzo and her teammates took over. You know, I think the fact that they're beating their individual matchups, they're kind of shifting and changing where they're attacking from, and that's key. They're not doing the same thing over and over again, so that's tough for a defense to match.
One thing these highlights will show you, Apuzzo's top offensive weapons have very much come to the forefront in the first half.
You know, Dempsey Arsenal, her best friend, her teammate at BC, she knew that was somebody she wanted on her team. And another one of her best friends, Sam Geiersbach, just the connections that you have that you try and generate whenever new teams are drafted. Anytime you can get players who've played together previously, you know you're going to be successful. Courtney Fortunato, a part of that mix. Sam's played with her in the past a bunch, chosen her for her teams. But then just Sam Apuzzo, it's the tenacity, the tenacious play on the field, her willingness to just get the job done.
There was a time there when every shot Apuzzo and her teammates took looked like it was going in. First half numbers playing out like this, the shot story indicative of the game right now.
Look at that difference. Only 8 shots being taken for Team Glenn, and Team Apuzzo has 9 goals. You got to shoot the ball. You have to make sure you're getting your hands free to get a quality shot, and that's just something that Team Glenn is struggling to do.
7 unanswered points for Team Apuzzo, making this a lopsided lead at the half. We're getting set to start to quarter number 3 with you, the beneficiary of it all, Kaylee Waters, against her one-time stablemate, Katie Glenn, with Athletes Unlimited. Folks, the summer soccer schedule continuing Saturday on ESPN2 and ESPN Deportes with a La Liga doubleheader from Oracle Park in San Francisco starting at 7 Eastern and 4 Pacific. Real Betis taking on Real Sociedad. Then Atletico Madrid squaring off against Sevilla. Another great night of soccer to come. We are enjoying Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse Season 3. Third quarter soon to unfold, 9-3 for Team Apuzzo. Courtney, who are the biggest movers and shakers inside this game alone?
The biggest mover and shaker, Sam Geiersbach, Sam Apuzzo. Basically all the players in orange. They got 40 points for winning the second quarter. First quarter was a tie, 3-3, but they won when it counted. And that big 40 points, as well as those individual goals, Sam Geiersbach, Sam Apuzzo putting up a lot of goals on the board, as well as assists.
Nicole Levy is joining us for the microphone tonight. Nicole, the offense worked with great precision in the first half. What did you like most about it?
Yeah, I've been waiting for you to ask me this question. It's a lot of fun watching all these, all these high-level scorers out there, and I'm so happy for them. I'm not getting a lot of opportunities myself, but I think Sam's happy to have me on her squad this week, considering what I did to her last week.
Nicole, did they know that you scored 6 goals to tie the league
I mean,
there?
apparently not. Apparently no one likes to look at the, the shooting percentages, but that's all right. I'm just collecting these win points right now.
Since you've got your hands on your hips and you don't have your goggles on, we're going to keep you around for a little while and let you play analyst with us as the
I'd love to.
third quarter unfolds. Lizzie Colson, so great around the draw circle. Nicole, when you see Lizzie perform around all that chaos, what is it about her makeup that makes her so good as a draw control type person?
She's relentless. I mean, she's coming at you after your stick no matter what. She doesn't give up on it, and I think that's it's really nice that I've been on her team 2 weeks in a row, and I haven't had to play against her too much.
Here we go, D, one stop! Nicole, you look at your defense. Your defense is stout with who you have back there. Meg Dowdy, Lizzie Colson. What makes them so difficult to beat?
Experience. I think this league's a lot about IQ, and I don't think a lot of people respect that enough. I think the amount of IQ that this team has right now is just insane, and I think that is why we are dominating not only this game, but the next 2 as well.
No substitute for experience, Nicole. Thanks very much for tuning in with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll get back with you. Team Glenn in the blue. Gilbert off the cut inside. She snapped that one wide. Backed up by Livy Rosenzweig, 4 times in All-America with the Loyola Greyhounds, not far from where we are. On the question mark, she threw that one wide of the cage. It's backed up on the end line by Amy Moreau. Moreau, who came to college as an attacker, played every position in school save for a goalkeeper at UMass. Speaking of goalies, here's Kaylee Waters behind the back with a flick. You have 20 seconds to clear the midline in Athletes Unlimited.
I'm not sure if we've ever seen a team here in Season 3 struggle to get the ball past. Sometimes they're teetering close to that 15-second mark. That's a lot of time for them to transition the ball from one end of the field to the other, making sure they do it safely. You don't want to have any careless errors before you get an offensive possession. Leaderboard
left side of the screen, changing. Follow your favorites throughout this season. Points adding up with a fun and unique scoring system. Every play matters. Haley Warden there, 22 in the orange. Playing catch with Geiersbach from the angle. Katie Glynn made the stop. That's a +5 for Katie with every netminder save. Geiger rolling out on the clear here as we look for the first strike in quarter number 3. Taylor Marino beginning the day on top of the leaderboard, defending her title. Taylor Cummings won the inaugural crown back in 2021. We were in the Metro DC area at Maureen Hendricks Field. All the while, championship season number 4 of Athletes Unlimited softball rolls on from Rosemont, Illinois. Ball down here at the midline. Good scoop on the run for Colson. She's attacked from the weak side there by Palermo and by Gilbert, and it's Lauren who comes up with the ground ball.
Love to watch attackers ride until they get that ball back, especially when a turnover is created.
Johansson fires, that's blocked. Rebound, score! Follow-up Rosenzweig. Ending a 7-point unanswered run for Team Apuzzo.
Lauren Gilbert, her efforts to win the ball back for her team. She tracked Lizzie Colson down from the opposite end of the field. Johansson, fast break to goal, and then Livy Rosenzweig picking up the trash. This ground ball inside, getting rid of it quickly. You don't need to have a lot of angle if you're Lizzie Rosenzweig. She's put the first goal on the board. It's been a long time for the team in blue. 15 minutes since their very first goal.
Before we get back to the draw circle, we remind you that Athletes Unlimited and Topps have unveiled the first ever set of trading cards that feature all 4 Athletes Unlimited sports combined into one set. The 200 card base set featuring 185 of the athletes from the 2022 seasons. They're available at major retailers such as Target, Barnes & Noble, hobby shops, and through Topps.com and Fanatics.com. Mastriani and Rosenzweig inside the draw circle. The end of a 7-point unanswered run for Team Apuzzo. It's 9-4 now. In each quarter, there are 20 points available when you win the frame for all 14 players on the roster. 2 points available for the draw control possession. And those are earned by Rosenzweig. That was a short draw. I didn't know that that came above the shoulder, but they play on.
You know, our vantage point a little bit difficult to track, but that is something in women's lacrosse. The ball has to go above the shoulder height. And I do think that's an advantage for Livy. If you look at her, she's able to get the ball over her shoulder as quickly as possible and take off with it. Nice quick first step.
Ohlmiller, who had a couple of goals in the first half, puts this one down on the turf. Johansson's there along with Dowdy, and it's Dowdy who comes up with the steal. Team Apuzzo gets a chance at an offensive possession. Courtney, we mentioned Rosenzweig's a rookie, so people might not know her draw move. Is that why she's had so much luck, so much good fortune in the first couple of weeks?
You know, I think there's an element of surprise for sure. A lot of these players have gotten to know one another so very well. And any time you can put a new player out there who maybe they haven't played against at the collegiate level because they've been done, like Sam Apuzzo. But obviously Sam, assistant coach at BC.
Fires and scores right on cue. Apuzzo with her 4th of the day.
You know, Sam talks about her as a coach. They've played Loyola in quarterfinals previously. She feels like she's a better coach at the collegiate level because of her captainship here in Athletes Unlimited, which I find so very interesting. But taking matters into her own hands, Sam Apuzzo, look at this. Her team talks about not just her ability on the field to make things happen, but her excitement. They're like, she just bottles it up and releases it off of not just her goals, but those around her. She's just happy for that team-style play.
Doesn't matter who's on her roster. It's infectious. Apuzzo has 4 today. It's 10-4 for the team dressed in orange. They continue to roll. Game 13 of 24 this season. We will crown an individual champion for you on August 13th into the Book of Unlimited. Sam Apuzzo was one of the darlings, one of the favorites. Thought by many of the 56 in residence to be the favorite, the leading candidate right there with Taylor Marino. Marino has been special in the first couple of weeks. The first Athletes Unlimited player to ever get more than 1,000 points in just 2 weeks. Inside Fortunato, dancing with it, away from Detweiler. Detweiler has made a very fast reputation for herself, tough and physical on defense.
You know, Katie Glenn, when she was putting her team together, she said for the draft she was focusing on getting some Loyola alums. She has 4 out of the 6, but she also wanted players who could dodge as well as assist. And if you look at their first 3 goals, all 3 goals were assisted, so that was a conscious effort.
Mastriani off the split dodge, she pumped it wide. 25 seconds on the shot clock. For Geyers back on the reload, she'll isolate against Palermo. Neat roll dodge there from the bad angle and a better save by Katie Glenn. 5 points for the goalie save. Katie Glenn, who placed 10th on the leaderboard a season ago, climbing among the top 4 every week. The top 4 on the leaderboard draft new teams on Monday. Close of business on this Sunday. We'll have the top 4 on the leaderboard as captains once the MVP voting is done and we finished up all the appeal processes. Evans looking for Naslonsky, the rookie out of Rutgers. Ripped off beautifully. That was timed in expert fashion by Lizzie Colson. She gets 14 points for the caused turnover.
Relentless, the best word to describe Lizzie Colson. She just follows you again and again till she's like essentially in your hip pocket.
You're great at giving me the gossip. I can't believe you didn't tell me that she's married. Her husband, Eric, a Marine helicopter pilot. I didn't know this. I rely upon you for this gossip.
I try, I do my best.
Apuzzo waiting back behind the cage. 2-person game with Mastriani setting the screen. Fortunato angling in on Katrina Geiger. Shot clock's at 20. Arsenal, nice look. Mastriani, she converts. And the route is on, 11-4.
You know, it almost seems unfair. Arsenal to Mastriani, Team USA, Team USA. These players, the connections that they have on the field are the reasons why Team Apuzzo is just dominating here in Athletes Unlimited for Team Apuzzo.
Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse on ESPN is sponsored by Aspiration, a global leader in financing climate impact. Enjoying a Thursday late afternoon with you from Sparks, Maryland. Team Apuzzo is in control. We remind you that on Saturday, PLL games, Archers and Atlas at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on ABC and ESPN+, followed by the Whip Snakes and Chrome, only on ESPN+. All games coming from Homewood Field, not far away in Baltimore. Lizzie Colson, definitely a PLL fan. Maria Tribalpiece, she sat down with Lizzie to explain her tie-ins with the Premier Lacrosse League.
Lizzie, you are quite busy when you're not playing lacrosse. What are some other things that you're involved in?
I'm involved in a lot of things, but I work for the PLL doing a lot on their youth space. So it's as a training coordinator, just organizing, putting up camps and clinics all over the country for the youth developmental space.
Walk me through what your day is like working as a training coordinator for the PLL.
It's a lot of just organizing with the PLL players, travel booking, getting them to and from certain clinics all over the country, putting up events with different club organizations, and just working really closely with the league to make sure that we're putting up events that are beneficial to the youth space, to the league, and to the club space that we're working with.
Why is that role so important, especially in a league like the PLL?
We're getting sticks in the hands of the youth, especially in these non-traditional areas where they might not have as much access. I think it's really important to be there and get them in front of this game.
Lizzie Colson, one of 5 siblings in the family, daughter of Harry and Laura. Lizzie, a National Defender of the Year with the Terps in 2021. Playing with Team Apuzzo this week, Court, and she's a very good fit on the back end.
She's a player with a lot of experience and somebody who's confident. That's what you need out of the defensive end, somebody who can transition the ball quickly, get the offense rolling. And Apuzzo, she feels like she's found that. That's the kind of thing she was looking for in the draft, a core defensive unit that has the benefit of also running that ball up the field. And both she and Meg Dowdy, also Team USA teammates for Sam Apuzzo.
Each team chasing 20 points, available for whomever wins the third quarter. Ramsey and Mastriani at the draw circle. The draw possession for Arsenal. She finds Fortunato running in the open field. In the third quarter, Team Apuzzo in orange leads 2-1. They took the second quarter emphatically 6-0. That was worth 40 after a first quarter carryover. Levy cradles away from pressure, supplied by the rookie Moreau. Mastriani to a front swinging Levy, bluffed it over the back, gets underneath, and just sent it wide. Levy selling out on the end line there with Detweiler. The officials award possession to Team Apuzzo. Geyer's back on the quick restart, 16 to shoot. Officials today, Ronnie Anton, Devin Holcomb, Erica Leslie, and Liz Brush, bringing play to a halt. Sam Apuzzo calling for it. It's been a banner day for the captain of the team dressed in orange. Apuzzo already with 4 goals. For every tally, a 1-point version, you get 12 on your leaderboard tally. Apuzzo began the day second place to Taylor Marino, who we'll see in the nightcap. Apuzzo on the flash cut there for Levy. Levy lost it out of her cross. They dig for it off the ground. Still free, and pouncing on it is Amanda Johansson. Johansson, powerful long strides, bringing Team Glenn back into a 6-on-6. 60-second shot clock in Athletes Unlimited. The goals are 80 yards apart. You score from outside that 8-meter arc, they'll give your team 2, and you'll get 16 for your leaderboard total. Evans gets sandwiched there. Nicely timed check by Marge Donovan, the rookie who played 4 years at Princeton, Ivy League Defender of the Year, then finished up her college career at Maryland.
Despite Marge being a rookie, she has a lot of experience, especially at that international level as well. International, a little bit more physical, just like we see here at Athletes Unlimited. Physical, but yet still safe in manner. We've seen a lot of fouls happening on the field, whether it's free positions. You cannot displace any of the offensive players.
Those special points of emphasis reinforced earlier today with the officials and the players and the player executive committee. Arsenal, beautiful move. Better save there at the end of the line from Katie Glenn. You see the leaderboard left side of the screen. The colors reflective of the jerseys that those players are wearing in this week 3. Pass for Palermo that gets away. Turnover back to Team Apuzzo. On August 13th, the top 4 on the leaderboard will receive medals. Fortunato's drive, answered again, rejected by Katie Glenn. Her team in blue with Geiger on the clear. Successful now for the Hawk. Melissa Hawkins, the rookie out of Vanderbilt.
Joe, look at how far Lizzie Colson is outside of that scoring area. Tracking Lauren Gilbert down, making sure she doesn't get ahead of steam. A lot of speed running at her. That's one of Lauren Gilbert's strengths.
Gilbert, who long ago dreamt of playing soccer at Stanford. The irony is that her sister plays lacrosse at Stanford nowadays. Colson all around the ground ball, puts a face dodge on Ramsey, who stayed there well with her, hemmed her in. Meg Dowdy will clear. Team Apuzzo has the 5-on-4 developing here. To the inside, quick stick effort by Fortunato. She flicked it wide. Apuzzo on the end line with Detweiler as the third quarter comes to its end. A quarter that has been won once again by Team Apuzzo, 2-1.
Team Glenn scoring the first goal of the third quarter, then Apuzzo tying things up. It was 1-1 throughout most of the half, but again, Team Apuzzo capitalizing when it's needed. They are earning the 12 points of this quarter, despite such that low score, 2-1.
11-4 for Team Apuzzo. The hits keep coming. Finally, Katie Glenn's squad got back on, but it would be Mastriani closing the scoring summary. It has been a very productive day for the team in orange. Team Apuzzo winning the third quarter 2-1. They have the advantage 11-4 as we head to the fourth. They've already banked 60 points for everybody on the roster, thanks to how well they did in quarters 2 and 3. Friends, for every assist during this year's Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse Season Aspiration, committed to planting 10 trees. Heading into this weekend, the athletes with 76 helpers. That means at least 760 trees with their assists, and we've seen good playmaking again so far tonight, Court.
You know, it's so fun watching these players share the ball. That's how you do it offensively as a team. It's all about teamwork. Move it, let the ball do the work.
Getting set for the start of the fourth quarter as the teams break the huddle. We are once again joined by ESPN lacrosse analysts Quint Kesnick and Paul Carcaterra. Fellas, let's start with Q-Ball. Q, what have you seen so far through 30 minutes?
Well, I know last time you put us on, all of a sudden Team Apuzzo started scoring goals like it was going out of style. I mean, between the cooler weather and having us on camera here, we saw 6 goals in 1 quarter. That's a record for the summer. Who could figure?
Well, I don't want to burst your bubble, but the team in blue has not won a game yet, Quint. So I don't know, maybe you guys can be a little bit of good luck for them now, too.
That's a Carolina blue. That's not a Hopkins blue.
Of course.
Well put, well put. Paul, when your daughter, Payla, watches an Athletes Unlimited game, where does she put the most attention?
I think it's the offensive dodging, and tonight I think it's been on full display. Watching Sam Apuzzo, I mean, everyone talks about her grace and her stick skills. I'm so impressed at how she's using her body. There's a few dodges above goal line extended where she's just winning the one-on-one physical matchup in the leverage game, and she's kind of just working off of where the defense is overcompensating. So it's little things like that, subtle type of movements within the athletes, the deceptions, the plant foots. I mean, this is a game where all those little things make the biggest difference, and I think Sam is masterful. She's dominating tonight.
Oldmiller on the go. Kylie had a hot hand early, but she's cooled off since. We were 3-3 after 1. Gilbert's drive rattled around off a defender in front of the netminder. The scoop that sails high over Kaylee Waters, running to the end line. Rosenzweig was there, but the officials are awarding possession to Kaylee Waters. So there's the caused turnover, hustle play for Waters, plus 14 on the leaderboard.
Ching, ching.
Ding, ding.
That's one of those stats that Quint would have. He'd say, no, I got this one. Bringing the ball in from the end line instead of the defender. Very smart. You know, and 2 of our goalkeepers who are incredibly athletic outside of the cage, Taylor Marino, Kaylee Waters, you know, they use that to their advantage. You know, when you look at the different positions and how they're able to score, do you guys think there's any position that has a better advantage over another?
No, clearly the rules this summer have seems like it shifted towards the goaltenders and the defense. But you've got to have rules that incentivize defensive plays and goaltending, or this would just be a scoring contest between attackers. One thing I want to point out, guys, and Paul and I were discussing, the defense, the checking that we're seeing is a little different from a high school or college game right now. Okay. And that's really kind of standing out to me in person. Incredible defense, but there are some wrap checks.
Quint, that's where I was headed with Paul. Kark, what is it that makes for a good defensive positioning and check? You know, there's a risk-reward factor there.
There is, and that's why you see, as we see another shot here, Joe. Oh, the blue team coming back. Quint, you wrote him off too early. You wrote him off too early.
Erica Evans from north of the border, boys.
Erica Evans, Canadian. Love to watch her in tight. Her ability to get rid of that ball so quickly, just to catch a turn and a fire. She loved playing box lacrosse growing up, and when you look at the development of the women's game, Kark, I know we were just talking about what you guys see on the field, the athleticism, the field awareness. Women who play box, how does that benefit?
Well, they can handle that pressure, but Joe, you were asking about the wrap checks and the overall defensive pressure. For really smart offensive players, I know this might sound crazy, you kind of welcome that. This is a way more aggressive game than the college game. It's way more aggressive than high school and youth, obviously. But when you have aggressive defense, as an offensive player, you have to think and you have to put in your mind, what's my counter to the over-aggressive nature of the defense? That's why you see these cerebral players, whether it is a Kylie Oldmiller, a Nicole Levy, a Charlotte North, a Sam Apuzzo. They have the counter to the over-aggressive defense. And look, if you don't, you can get eaten up and really spit out, because the pressure and the physicality out here is unbelievable. Not to mention, what do we have, 4 subs? I mean, if you see a PLL roster, there's 9, 10 subs, and college rosters will go deep into the 20s. I have so much respect for these athletes, not only based on the fact that how physical, fast, and how high-paced the game is, but the lack of subbing.
Thank goodness for the rosters at the start of this week, guys. The temperatures are very friendly with regard to playing the first of your 3 games in 4-day stretch. As Levy looks for Apuzzo, we're chatting with Paul Carcaterra and Quint Kesnick, looking forward to their commentary with PLL play this coming weekend in Baltimore. Levy inside, shovels! Stopped there by Glenn. Quint Kesnick, a reminder there that Levy can take a page out of John Grant Jr.'s book.
Are there style points? You know, can we have style points? I would love a Joe and Courtney scoring system where at the end of the game they dish out a couple style points, whether it's for a great takeaway check, a fantastic finish, or maybe an acrobatic save.
She was definitely going for the Sports Center top 10 right there. This drive sails wide from Rosenzweig. On the end line, it will stay Katie Glynn ball with O'Miller halfway through the shot clock.
Kark, when you look at these players on the field, I know you talked about your daughter Pele. I saw you on the sideline with her. You guys were chatting with Sammy Jo Tracy, another incredibly creative player. What are some things in the backyard that you do with her that you probably think directly translates into these players here in Athletes Unlimited?
You know, I always try to think of ways to implement stick work in unconventional ways, like throwing bad passes on purpose and trying trick shots and trying shots that you would never even think about in a game. And why would you do that? It's because it increases your hands. It increases the ability to have the stick an extension of your body. So I always promote, whether it's boys lacrosse, girls lacrosse, go in the backyard and try the unthinkable, because the unthinkable will give you a certain type of skill set and hands and a movement within your upper body that just make your traditional functional stuff so much better.
Fellas, thanks very much. We wish you and all of our ESPN colleagues the best with the PLL this weekend in Baltimore. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Break time, 11-5 for Team Apuzzo. They are cruising as we are just about at the midway mark of the 4th with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Team Glenn has the only goal in the 4th, an 11-5 game with Team Apuzzo in control thanks to a huge second quarter. Folks, we remind you to tune in tomorrow night. Athletes Unlimited Softball Championship Season number 4 continuing. 6:30 Eastern on ESPNU, followed by Game 2 of the doubleheader, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. Rachel Garcia holding the top position on the leaderboard, opening up with 456 points in week 1 on the softball side. Athletes always willing to take us into the game. Let's hear from Katie Glynn.
Who's on? Right, center. Yeah, I think biggest thing right now, just look at the quarter score. We're down by 1. Let's get 2 here and win this quarter. Here we go. Blue on 3. 1, 2, 3. Blue. That's blue ball. That's blue ball. Great job.
Katie Glynn making her feelings known to the referees there, making sure that her squad gets the ball back when deserved. Team Glenn and Team Apuzzo, if you're just tuning in with us, this is a 3-3 game, Courtney, after 10 minutes. But since that time, Team Apuzzo's gone to another level.
You know, if you just erase that second quarter, again, it's about winning each particular quarter. Take away that 6-0 run. The game is pretty tight because you can still win this fourth quarter and not necessarily win that overall game. And we just heard Katie Glenn talk about that. Let's just win this quarter. And they're already up 1-0.
Turnabout fair play because Glenn was Apuzzo's goalie for each of the first 2 weeks. Threatening skies overhead at USA Lacrosse HQ here in Sparks, Maryland. Starting to feel a little bit of mist and drizzle out there. As the players play on, 18 seconds on the shot clock. Fortunato struck a couple times in the opening half. She wheels in against Geiger and gets to the alley. Now turns the corner. Fortunato scores! A fabulous shot on her way down.
Joe, we always talk about Courtney Fortunato. She's kind of that X factor on every team. She is sneaky with her goal-scoring capabilities. She may not touch the ball as much as Sam Apuzzo, but she does a lot with it when it's in her stick. We see her get the stick well out in front of her body. She knows she has a defender on her hip. The farther you get your stick away from your body, you are able to generate some offensive power. Courtney Fortunato with a couple on the board tonight.
Give her 3. Team Apuzzo well on its way to starting week 3 in Athletes Unlimited in the win column. Folks, you can get in the game by joining the Unlimited Club. Vote on game MVPs, enjoy exclusive events, contribute 10% to the player bonus pool and more for just $20 a year. Sign up now at auprosports.com/membership. Joe and Courtney rounding out matters with 5:26 to go in the fourth. A shout out of thanks to all the men and women in our technical crew. Great to be surrounded by such good friends for this week 3. We're heading towards the conclusion of season 3. It wraps up on August 13th here. Top 4 will receive medals. There's one individual champion in the Book of Unlimited. Defender of the Year as well. Players starting to ramp up and keep their eyes peeled on the leaderboard that we will be showing you from time to time throughout these telecasts. Team Marino against Team Bosco later on in the doubleheader. Ohlmiller on the move. Shovel shot is spotted all the way by Kaylee Waters. Abby Bosco, the rookie out of Maryland, will be making her first appearance as a captain, wearing purple. 7:30 Eastern time. That one's expected to start on ESPNU. Warden, the veteran, picks up Colson. There's a lot of experience on Team Apuzzo.
A lot of experience, a lot of players who are just working well together. They're executing. Again, the thoughts on coaching. It was just a matter of having a hustle play and letting that build momentum on the field. And Sam Apuzzo, her entire team did that from the second quarter on.
Katie Glenn, the netminder, adds 5 points for that stop in goal. This is a bad pass to the sideline. Colson there with Gilbert. Cradles it away from the pressure. Lizzie, so elusive, will bring it back. I know that you would love to see her play midfield.
I would. She did it in World Championships last summer a little bit. You appreciate her speed throughout the field. She still has the stick work. She was a midfielder before heading off to Maryland. We see it here. We've seen her score a couple of goals throughout the seasons, and she's got it.
Colson placed 8th on the leaderboard last year. She went 1-2 as a captain last week. Mastriani was a captain in week 1. Levy's next on board with 3:40 remaining in regulation. Nicole Levy badgered there all the way by Melissa Hawkins. Hawkins, who does such wonderful work in the community. Fortunato with a hat trick today. Warden off the face dodge, trying to jump on Moreau, and that's blocked by Katie Glenn. Melissa Hawkins, who works with children, complex medical and severe disabilities. She's a special education teacher at the Tennessee School for the Blind.
And instances like these, they just can't get a settled offense. The team in blue, Katie Glenn's squad, they're just kind of rushing. I like that they're pushing the fast break, but it's just a little bit too risky sometimes with these passes in the open field.
Mairead Durkin was there, pivotal on the defensive end. This is Bree Gross, subbing in off of Team Apuzzo's bench. The rosters are 14 players. There's 2 netminders on each team. Katie Glynn has gone the distance today. She's backed up by Paulina DeFada. Kaylee Waters all the way for Team Apuzzo, backed up by Kat Buchanan, the rookie out of James Madison. Geyer's back. Ooh, flattened by Palermo. That's a foul. Geyer's back, bouncing right back up. Skipping on through. Mastriani from the wing. She scores!
Ali Mastriani showing her range on the field. Sam Geyer's back, hitting one side to the other, moving the ball, transitioning it easily. And Ali Mastriani with the windup. You saw her hesitate for a slight second. The reaction of Katie Glynn, I think she was kind of screened by her defensive player a little bit, who was running across the top of the crease trying to stay tight on her cutter. But that's why Ali Mastriani paused, waited for the defense to cruise through, and she still had a ton of time to wind up and get that shot off.
Katie Glynn hanging her head. Not often does Glynn surrender 13 goals in a single game. Team Apuzzo, after a 3-3 draw in the opening 10 minutes, has stepped on the gas. An 8-point advantage down the stretch with a little bit more than 2 minutes to work. Ramsey inside the draw circle against Warden. Katie Ramsey, who played collegiately at Southern Cal and never missed a game in her Women of Troy career. Just about the final 2 minutes. Team Glynn gets a chance to bounce back on Saturday. They'll face Team Marino, 5 p.m. You can see that on ESPN+. Team Apuzzo heading for Victory Lane. They square off with Team Bosco, 2:30 on Saturday. That game you can see on ESPN2. Gross gets underneath. Stick check by Amanda Johansson. Geyer's back will track it down with just about 100 seconds to play. Fortunato on the move. Geiger with her step for step. Geyer's back and Palermo there. That was a tough catch. Ball down, comes up for Amanda Johansson. She and Geiger look to clear. Palermo has good speed. Bree Gross running with her. Final 70 seconds of this one. It was a devastating second quarter for Team Apuzzo that did the damage. They outscored Team Glynn 6-0 in the second quarter. It was a Roger Federer-like tennis set. 6-love.
You know, if they can score a 2-point here quickly, get the draw, come back and score one more, despite losing the overall game, they could win that fourth quarter, but they have to have a sense of urgency.
2-1, as Courtney mentioned. Mastriani, Fortunato, the goal scorers for Team Apuzzo, looking for a sweep. Evans has the lone goal for Team Glynn in the fourth. 33 seconds left. Gross will not flag this one down. Geiger in a tussle for the ground ball. It's Team Glynn possession with 24 ticks left. Trying to tie up this fourth. A pass inside. Rolling Rosenzweig. She was fouled. This will be a free position shot.
And at this point, let's look for the 2-point power shot. Then you have an opportunity, time to get potentially another draw control.
I wonder if Lizzie will step back from the arc and crank the 2. She goes inside and scores! Just a single, though. The 1-point drive from Rosenzweig, it was a bullet. But she was not thinking like you, Courtney, perhaps for a step back 2.
We saw that nice little crow hop from Rosenzweig. Again, just 1 point. So now they've tied things here up in this fourth quarter. If they win the draw control quickly, they could be going for that 20-point fourth quarter power shot in transition. So maybe that was their thought process, get the quick goal.
You're not going to win the game. You want to salvage something, so get the 20 points for the fourth quarter. If you can get the ball and score one more time. Team Apuzzo well on its way to winning the 45 points that are available for the team that wins the overall game. Once this game is through, the players will start to vote for MVP. There are 3 different levels of MVP voting. And then we'll get set for Marino and Bosco at 7:30 Eastern on ESPNU. Final ticks. Johansson, here's a chance for Gilbert to win the quarter. Lets it fly, and she sailed it wide. Ohlmiller hustles to back it up. 5 seconds, now 4. Neat move on Dowdy. Ohlmiller inside looking for Ramsey. Backed up there, but Moreau can't get the shot triggered on the cage. The fourth quarter ends in a 2-2 draw. This is 13-6 in favor of Apuzzo.
Apuzzo coming out on top despite 2 ties in 2 separate quarters. It was the overall effort in the second as well as the third that put them over the hump. Team Apuzzo collectively working well together as a team despite this just being their first game of the series this weekend.
Courtney, I called you immediately after the draft. The draft is conducted every Monday. The captains pick their players, the 14 per side, as they pose for the photo. I said Team Apuzzo top to bottom looks terrific, and they wasted no time clicking and showing chemistry.
You know, a lot of them go way back, whether it's Team USA, their college days together, or their youth days, growing up, playing in the street, the backyard, and all of that is very beneficial. Once you have a history with somebody, you develop chemistry a whole lot faster, and Team Apuzzo most definitely showed that in the first game tonight.
Sam Apuzzo had 4 goals today, as Lizzie Colson and Sam Geyersbach chat about this win, 13-6. In the first half, it wound up a 9-3 advantage for Team Apuzzo. Apuzzo fashioned 4 goals on the board. It was a monster opening 20 minutes.
You look at Sam Apuzzo and her ability just to take over when she wants to, all over the field. She's just a sniper around the crease, incredibly versatile. We saw her at the draw circle. We see her assisting some goals, getting everyone involved, being that kind of connector throughout the field, and that's why she's one of the best. Look at this, first, all over the place.
This season alone, Courtney, she leads the league in goals, and oh, by the way, she leads the league in assists as well. To this point, 13 games into the season.
And if we looked at her MVP points, I mean, she's up there with the best as well. You can't not notice her on the field, not just for her goal-scoring capabilities, but she wins the ball back. She causes turnovers.
3 ways the players add to their leaderboard totals: stat points, win points, and MVP points. And that's why you hear all the athletes discussing with us just how important it is to win frame by frame by frame. Those 20s keep adding up nicely.
Those add up nicely. Scoring a goal, that adds up. Making some draws, possession for your team, and then the MVP. You always are talking about Sam Apuzzo. I know we are when we're discussing her teams. Who else do we look to highlight? You can't look anywhere else.
And now she's ready to chat with us. Sam Apuzzo, the winner today, comfortably 13-6. Sam, this was a 3-3 game after 10 minutes, and then what happened?
Yeah, I think we just started connecting on offense and like making really great plays defensively. They came out really hot, really strong, and I think it took us a little bit to get our chemistry going, but once we did, it was hard to stop, I think.
Sam, you had Katie in cage for you last week. You said it was going to be hard to shoot on her this week, but it seems like you might have known what her weaknesses were because you guys were rolling, especially in that second quarter.
Yeah, Katie's an amazing goalie. It's really hard to score on her. I think we had really good shots, good opportunities to make it kind of go in, but I think Katie is an incredible goalie, so I feel really fortunate that today it was in our favor.
Sam, you and your teams played very well off of each other. Your teammates working in quick chemistry. When you put this team together, what's the type of player who you want to have with you at the attack end?
Yeah, I love chemistry is a big thing for me. I love playing with people who love a fluid offense and who are really good at listening and taking in coaching from myself, from everyone, really good camaraderie all around. So people like that, and I get comfortable players, and that's kind of how I usually like to draft my team.
Sam, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Best wishes for Saturday.
Thank you.
This one's in the books, 13-6. In favor of Team Apuzzo. Folks, tune in at 7:30 Eastern, the second game of the Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse doubleheaders right here on ESPNU. For Courtney, for all the men and women in our crew, Joe Beninati, thanks so much for your time. Those who were rooting for Orange saw an explosion of goals for Team Apuzzo, and they rolled over Team Glenn